Hey, this is Muse's YouTube podcast recorded at approximately 7:25 p.m. of May 18th, 2013. Today's subject's going to be adjectives in creative writing. Just kind of a heads up, guys, this is my third take only because of my stomach. I don't know what's wrong. I've had to stop the podcast twice. I took some Pepto-Bismol in hopes of trying to calm my stomach down due to my stomach not liking me, which also may lead me to have to stop, take a breath, and break, which is good for anyone anyways in the communications degree department anyways, but I'm tired. It's not a good sign when I'm pausing constantly and my stomach hurts. Also, you might have noticed we're doing this visually as well as we do have video. This is my laptop, and the audio is coming from the mic, not from the laptop. So, hello viewers, this is my new haircut. What do you think? Hey, how you doing? Dang, girl. I was gonna come up with like some sort of awkward Doctor Who pickup line. Didn't work out. By the way, I have to do this before Doctor Who starts. Fact. Because otherwise it'll just be me talking about Doctor Who and fictional characters, which I will dedicate a podcast to eventually. Until then, I am here to talk about something that I did a couple nights ago. Actually, supposedly according to the post on Tumblr, it was on the 17th, but technically it was like 2 nights ago. Because I posted it at like 1 in the morning. And you know you're a nerd when you randomly just start posting or typing a 900-word basic essay about the importance of adjectives. Because you've been talking to yourself about it and thinking on it and realizing, adjectives are pretty damn important. People don't use them. Or at least use them correctly. Actually, this post gave me some likes as well as some followers. There we go. Sorry, stomach started to kick in really bad. By the way, why does the taste of Pepto-Bismol have to be so bad? Why? Anyway. My stomach. Okay, enough tumbling while podcasting. You know better than this. So, 14th podcast in the ring. I'm getting used to this. I need to start doing outlines, though. But anyway, adjectives. I'm going to read to you the transcript. I'll comment as I go if I need be. Probably won't. Might change a couple words. It's on my Tumblr feed if you're interested in following my Tumblr. It's mmuzey.tumblr.com. Follow that. Create an account. It's free. You can't go wrong. I'm tired. I hurt. My stomach hurts so much. Gonna watch Doctor Who and hopefully that'll make me feel better. Let the podcast load. Blah, blah, blah. Yickety-doo, yickety-taw. Lippy-tappy-choo-taw. Here we go. The little short 900-word essay is called The Importance of Adjectives. And here we go. I know this has nothing to do with what you are doing right this very moment, but I want to take a second with you all to listen for just a tad for me to explain something called an adjective. We all know what they are. They are describing words. They express and describe things in ways that are actually quite difficult to do. I know some of you would try to describe an object, person, place, animal, or idea, but most of you would just make a simple list of things that would describe that exact noun. For example, if you all tried to describe me an apple, most of you would say they're sweet and red, or green or yellow, whatever suits your fancy, and small, and you'd probably say it's from a tree. But I can guarantee that if everyone were to think of these things in their head, given that the fact that it came from a tree was eliminated, not everyone would be able to picture an apple. If I asked you to picture something with 4 legs that ran fast and is known as a pet, then which would you think, a household dog or cat? I know this seems tedious, but I wish to bring up not just adjectives, but the importance of adjectives. It's obvious to say that we didn't have adjectives or reasons to use them, then we would never be able to live a vibrant life. I don't think that things could be all that distinguishable. We would never be able to have excitement in the world of colors, numbers, sizes, and similes and metaphors. Similes and metaphors. Give me a second. But dear person whom is typing this right now, you might say, whom I may or may not know, that's not an adjective. You're right. It's not. But it does help us understand the adjectives better. It may be the key to what describing words are and how to use them more efficiently. Metaphors and similes act as a key to the gateway of describing. If you simply said that something was black and white, had 4 legs and a long face, it would take some time, but some of you might come up with the answer zebra. That doesn't seem like fun. So what about the zebra? If you describe it exactly as I did, then this zebra means absolutely nothing to you. This is sad. Let's say now that the zebra is of great importance to a friend. Let's say that zebra is now a favorite animal to a friend. We could describe it as such. A hoofed horse with dual colors of black and white that swirl into each other, that never melts as one, always separate and always binding into each other, as though the horse's hair was a coloring book that you weren't allowed to touch. It's like we just fused two concepts here, the simile being the dual colors and how it swirl into each other, they never melt, but then we can also add this metaphor of it being like a coloring book you can't touch. This description is deeper than our previous example, and for some reason we give it more reason and purpose when we put more thought into its description. I'm not here to tell you why, that can be for another time, but for now understand that this has some precedence to what I'm about to say. Adjectives need more usage. I have seen a lot of people who have no passion for things, and that's okay. I'm not asking you to run into the world and find something of mass importance and love it by force. Seems a little redundant if you do that, and maybe a little bit oxymoron-ish, but at least if anything, you tried. I know that means little with no such thing to be passionate about, but at least I give you an A for effort. Either way, people can't seem to find words to describe things, even when affections are involved. Being a better describer isn't about more words, it's about better words. It's about being able to place words in a sentence or on paper and make them flow across the page like a dance. It's about making your tongue feel like it's tap dancing. I want to see this more often in writing. I try to do this myself. Mind you, I'm a novice, so I can't speak from a professional's point of view. I can, however, speak from a reader's point of view, who just wants to be intrigued by the words and the letters that are placed on a specific order to portray a thought. I like it when people take the time to describe things and put them in such words that transports you elsewhere. I don't want to hear the line, "The cow jumped over the moon." Fuck that. The only thing carrying this sentence is the fact that a cow just tried to jump over the moon. This is what a lot of writers do. They use what the sentence means or its concept, and not what you are describing to drive the story. I want to hear how the cow leapt from the cold, wet grass and glided across the sky as if it was in whimsical flight. Of course, you don't have to put it into one sentence. You could dedicate a whole paragraph to the idea, but most readers can't handle that kind of word usage. I'm not asking you to take a whole page to describe someone's smile or 5 pages to describe someone's house. I want to read and not be bored by words that are used on a regular, everyday basis. There are so many ways to describe something and many other synonyms that could be used to teleport someone to a very different world. There are only so many authors that do this. John Green, for example, does this very well. Read his stuff. Read The Fault in Our Stars. So I guess in the end, I only simply ask that you write creatively. Not just the content, but the way you present yourself as a narrator. The author is like a character. Give him something to say. And I posted this a couple nights ago on Tumblr. Got me some followers. Hi, followers, if you're on Tumblr watching and listening to this right now. How you doing? No. This was written on a whim. First draft. No re-edits or anything. Probably could go for quite a bit of re-editing and maybe even some additions. But I was surprised at so many people who were behind the whole fact. People were behind the whole concept of what I had to say involving adjectives. And what's unfortunate is that, other than my sick stomach, I'm sorry, but is the whole concept behind wanting to take the extra time to fully, deeply describe something. Now, I'm not asking you to do this with every subject and content that as my roommate starts walking up the stairway, knowing that I'm trying to do a podcast. Thanks, Wendy. But to take the time to actually describe things and how to actually put things into terms and how to actually portray a visual to something, it really does bore me. And that's what bores me a lot about books. That's why sometimes I try to go for fantasy, because sometimes writing style is disregarded when it comes to publishing. Sure, you can write about how somebody finds out how he becomes a wizard, or how he's a Time Lord, or how he's a detective. It's not fully creatively written sometimes. I've read some of Harry Potter, so I can't claim that. Doctor Who's a series on TV, so I can't give that too much buff. And I've read some of Sherlock, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And the only unfortunate thing about it is that I keep finding people who read it and just go, oh, this is really good, this is so cool, but I'm just sitting there like, this is boring the crap out of me. Because of the fact that it's just, not creatively written. And it sucks. The story doesn't suck, but the way that it's portrayed. And I judge readers and writers for this because it's one of the reasons why I don't read fan fiction. Very rarely do I ever find a fan fiction that I like, and it's rare. It's rare when I find a good fan fiction. And I just realized I shared a photo on Facebook I shouldn't have. It's a habit. I'm trying to find the delete button. Where is it? I want to remove. Delete. There we go. So anyway, I know that a lot of people were like, but this is so good. Sherlock does this, 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 and this. And I'll go to read it, and I'm just like, there's nothing here to read. I'm so bored. I'm so bored and agitated and just driven to absolute insanity because I'm not interested fully by the content. Okay, there's a great concept behind a Time Lord, and there's a great concept behind a boy who lives under a stairway who becomes a wizard. That's phenomenal. This world that they've created, these universes that are implemented, that's crazy, guys. But when you can't write it creatively, it shuts me off. It is literally a turnoff if I'm reading something and I'm just like, oh, the boy lives under a stairway, and he finds out he has magical powers. He gets a wand, and he defeats a bad guy. That sounds so boring. And I can't give any, I'm not slamming JK, okay? I'm not slamming JK Rowling. I'm not saying that I haven't read enough to claim her as a good or a bad author because I haven't read anything of hers. Truly, I've watched the movies, but I haven't read anything, so I can't diss her writing because I've never read it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if that was how it was written, I probably wouldn't get into it. If it was written in that manner, I wouldn't become a fan of Harry Potter. I'd only be interested in the movies and not care about the books. And that goes for Twilight, too. I've read about a page of Twilight, and I wanted to throw the book against the wall. And I proceed to feel like I'm getting sick. Anyway, so you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming here, right? I get on fan fiction all the time. And I read friends' fan fictions all the time. I've read a friend's original, and I was bored. It was Western themed, which doesn't make it bad. Actually, one of my most favorite characters of all time is from a Western that I don't watch, but I love the character because I've watched the movie, and the only thing I liked was the character. And he's one of my favorite characters. The story sucks. He got all these Emmy Awards, but it didn't, not my genre, but I love the character. I can't get behind the story my friend wrote because I'm just like, it sounds so dull. Like, it's written so blankly and just so straightforward. Like, hi, this person did this and he was angry, and it's Hobbit writing. And it's, what I mean by that is when J.R.R. Tolkien, so many J's in literature, at least in today's literature, it's written with a lot of telling and not showing, which is what I try to implement both. I try to say he's angry, but then I'll explain how he's angry. I'll try to be like, he gritted his teeth as though his jaw became numb and his eyes and nose ruffled. You know that's anger. But I also will say he was angry, or he was frustrated, or I will try to come up with a different word other than angry. So I try to do both at the same time so that there's an explanation either way. Be quiet! It's okay. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that was my roommate running around making goofy noises up here. That's okay. It wouldn't be the first time I've been interrupted while doing a podcast. I'm sorry. I keep touching my hair. It's hot up here, and I'm just like, hair! Where is it? It's gone! I'm a lion. Rawr. The best part is it's a mess, and I can just go like this, and it's okay. It's all shiny. Look, I don't even have to touch it. And it's all back to normal. Anyway, so That's actually one of the reasons why I can't get behind The Hobbit right now, is because it's really hard for me to read because there's nothing interesting to read other than the concept and what the story is. Not to say that that's a bad thing. You have to have originality in your you have to have originality in what you're writing. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes you can create parodies and be just as good. But what I'm trying to say is that whenever you have a story that is written in such a boring manner, you can talk about how there was an epic adventure about traveling to the world of Narnia. If it isn't written in an interesting manner, I'm not going to read it. And actually, I really should correct this last paragraph in my little thesis. The author is like a character, give him something to say. I should say narrator, not author, but the narrator in a story is, even if it's not in first person, the narrator is like a character. The author is the narrator. The author is the actor for the narrator, or the author legitimately is the narrator. It just kind of depends. In a way, especially if you change your writing styles, the narrator becomes a character. It becomes its own character. It almost becomes God or the special wise storyteller. And it's I love it when people really emphasize on that and they really take the opportunity and go, yes, I like that. Yes, I can get behind that because it makes so much poetic, whimsical sense. And when people do that in writing, it makes us feel like there's more importance to it. It can be a turnoff. There are some people in the world who can't get into John Green. I haven't met them yet, but I know they exist. Kind of sad, but hey, whatever floats your boat, I'm not judging you. As far as everyone else is concerned, though, I haven't found a single person who hasn't liked John Green. I'm not saying John Green is better than J.K. I'm not saying that J.K. is better than Green. But I am saying that, at least if anything, I can at least know that when I want to become a good writer, that I will write something original, something that is dedicating, something that I can continue to look forward to, and that's something I can look back on and go, oh, I remember when I wrote that way, but I know this is better now. If you went back to my original fan fiction, I think it's on fanfiction.net, is that what it's called? And looked for Keyblade Masters, and read that, and then you read what I'm writing now, it's very different. Like, I feel like it's different. I need someone else to read it so I can get a better outside view. But it does feel different. It really does feel different to me. Now, whether that's the case to the outside reader, I don't know. But I want to do that in my writing. I want to do that in the way that I want to portray this world that I've been creating in my head. The way that it is stepped forward and put into page format. Excuse me. But I always wanted to create something along those lines and create something that isn't just simply said. So it's not just, this girl lives in a castle and she can travel the world. It's more, I want the viewer to feel mysterious about this. I do want to feel that even though there's this place called Crystal Court, there's something weird and unsettling about it. It might not be said right away, but it will be at least said to some degree. In between the lines, you feel like something's not right. Make a series out of it. I want to do that. That is my goal in life, is to create this system, this world, this idea, concept. But I don't want to do it simply. I want to use adjectives. I want to use similes and metaphors and contradictions and sarcasm and character development and reading between the lines and subtle hints. And I'm still working on that. I only have 4 paragraphs done. I just started. I'm finally taking this concept that I've had in my head since I was 10 years old and finally creating a concept for it. So I'm finally now getting that down and finally getting that concept created and getting that ideal done. And that's what I want to do. I want to do something that's one step further. It's not easy. That's what I'll be mostly doing this summer, is trying to write more. But I can't say it's going to be easy because my creative writing comes in at night. And it's only a small open window, so I have to do it then. As soon as that door opens, I'm typing. Because otherwise, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't occur at all. So I had to find a way to be able to find that window and just go for it, because I hope that I can do something for this. Hopefully, maybe someday I'll become an accomplished author. I'd love to be a podcaster and an author at the same time. Maybe even creating a couple different podcasts depending on, what happens. But stick with one and we'll go from there. So, after all that is said and done, what does this affect society? How do we implement the use of adjectives? And how do we implement better word usage? Everyone's made a list of the constant, words and grammar problems, the top 10 grammar issues that I have in all the world. Here's the thing. I have some too. Your and your. I don't get picky about it. It's not like, oh, you spelled your wrong. Brr. I don't care. But if you're in serious literature, take, for example, my communications teacher, who, bless that woman's heart for taking my awkwardness and taking patience of me. She basically told the class that there were people writing college papers, reflection papers, no sources, just reflection papers on their presentations and their aftermaths, and they'll just sit there and write WTF. BRB. Not those exact words, but they'll use abbreviations. Shorthand. They don't know how to write a damn sentence. Like, there are seriously fragment sentences and, what are they called? Extended sentences, or I can't think of the term. Guys, help me out, put it in the comments, because I can't think of it to save the life of me. But, it's when you fuse two sentences together because you didn't put a period at the end of it. That bugs the shit out of me. My problem is knowing when semicolons and commas, when to do that. That's confusing for me. So I would love to have an editor. If anybody is very superb in the grammar correction, I would love for you to help me, because I am in deep poo-poo about that. Also, another problem for me, even though it's not really a problem when I talk, when I write, it's tenses, past and present tenses. I don't mean to, but when I type, I mix tenses, and then I have to go back and reread and then realize, was and were. Those are my big ones. Was and were. I know better. Was and were. I don't know why, but they bug me. But yeah, your and your, there and there. I know that there are a million different things that I could be complaining about in grammar department, but if you are interested in being a part of this project and you want to become an editor, not only just for grammar, but if you're something that doesn't make sense, if there's any information you want to help to make the story better, continuity issues like, this happened, but this shouldn't have happened because this happened, if there are continuity issues, please email me. prsfilms@rocketmail.com, and I will gladly reply. Say editor to be as the subject line. Editor to be, if you want to be my editor. I'm looking for editors for, how many times can I say editor without messing up? But 5 minutes to go. For those who are new to the podcast, I've been writing this story for a while now. I've been trying to get it concepted in my head. I've got an idea now. I'm starting to get it on paper, trying to get the first draft done. It's not easy because, like I said, I only have an open window to creativity. So, I'm not saying that I'm going to do this every day. I'm not even going to guarantee that there's a schedule that I could get done and be like, hey guys, every Thursday I'll send you a draft. It doesn't work that way. So, I have to be able to say, hey, every week or two you'll get a draft. Or, hey, here's a paragraph, just a sort of snippet. This is all I can get done. Attach it to the rest of your stuff. What do you think? Keep all the old copies, because I'm not sending you new ones. Keep all the old copies. Each document will be within each chapter. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. I'm looking for, people who can take my crap. Whenever publishing comes, you will be mentioned in any way you want. Tumblr handle, real name, nickname, pen name. If it happens, I'm not saying it will, but you will be mentioned, and I will make damn sure of it. So be sure to let me know if you want any information on that. In other news, again, ColossalCon coming up. I will be there if you guys are interested in coming to the anime and gaming convention known as ColossalCon in Sandusky, Ohio, June 6th through the 9th. Get your tickets. Pre-registration, I believe, is actually over. I think today, or like actually a few days ago, might have been the last day. So pre-registration is done, but if you want to get tickets still, you can still go at the door. Can't guarantee. Go there Thursday morning. If you want to get the best of it, it is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday con. Get there Thursday morning. I have panels Thursday night, and I have the whole weekend free. So if you guys are interested, please let me know. I will be doing a Thoughts and Places video. So hopefully everything will be all said and done. I'll bring the mic, but it's not going to be for podcasting purposes. It will be strictly for the Thoughts and Places video. So this is cutting this a little hair short. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about, because I want to get this started to upload. I'm tired. I'm worn. I don't feel good. And Doctor Who's going to be on in 10 minutes. Even though we're probably not going to start watching it until 8:15 because we let it TiVo so we can fast forward through the commercials. Haha. But I'm because I'm a dork like that. If anyone is curious and wanting to be in on this original concept editor, let me know. Again, the email is prsfilms@rocketmail.com. Do not leave a comment. Do not PM me. I will not respond. Again, the subject says editor to be, and that you are interested in grammar correction. Show some evidence that you're really good at grammar. Don't be like, OMG, I want to be your editor, lols. I won't take you. Screw that. Not happening. Good luck with that. It's going to be long. It will be long because I describe things like a brat. So we'll see how that goes. I may have multiple editors. We'll see how that goes. I thought about doing a Google Plus meetup, but I don't know how to run that. I don't have one other than for the YouTube account. So that's a fun thing. Other than that, 27 minutes in. Might as well close this up. This is Megan from Musie's YouTube podcast, cutting off just a couple minutes short because I want to get on YouTube and upload this bad boy. So I will talk to you all later. And let me know what you guys think about this video formatting. Do you guys prefer the still slot or do you prefer the video? Personally, I don't mind either way. It's just an extra post-production thing I gotta do. Don't care either way. I don't even know if I'm gonna have like the sidebar thingies. You know, they're like here and here. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. We'll see in post-production. So I will talk to you all later. Okay, guys? Okay? Be cool? You know what I bought at a costume store? This. If you're not watching the video, get the video on. It's a cup. And it techno dances. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that awesomeness right there. It glows. It is a cup that glows. If you are watching the video right now, you're freaking out. If you're doing the audio only version, you're like, oh no, I'm missing out. Get the video version. It's better. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. And be creative, people. Don't just piss around, do nothing. Look at that. We're closing pretty much on time. 28 minutes in. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later, and peace out.